Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing great. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. I have uploaded the code for this particular problem to the GitHub repository. You can get the link from the description below this video. Also, there are a bunch of playlists that I am creating to categorize the problems into easy, difficult, and hard problems. And also, there are several playlists towards the different kind of data structures that we use, like trees, linked list, arrays, strings, and so on. You will be able to find them in the playlist section. Don't forget to check them out. Let's jump into today's problem. Uncrossed lines. We write the integers a and b in the order they are given on two separate horizontal lines. Now we may draw connecting lines, a straight line connecting two numbers ai and bj such that ai is equal to bj. The line we draw doesn't intersect any other connecting line. Note that a connecting line intersects even at the endpoints. Each number can only belong to one connecting line. Return the maximum number of connecting lines we can draw in this way. So essentially we are given with two arrays a and b, and we will have to write the content of the arrays like one top of the other, just like shown in the example 1, right? So first array a is 1 4 2 and second array is 1 2 4. So we will have to write one top of the other, and we will have to connect the numbers in both the arrays. So one thing to note down is, here in this example 1, the array lengths are same, but array lengths need not be same. Just like if you look at the example 1, right, array A is length 5 and this is length 6. So the number of elements in both arrays may not match as well. So we'll have to plan for that also, okay? And then, so we have to connect only the matching numbers from both the arrays. And one more requirement is, if one number is connected, then you cannot connect to any other number. So if at all a number is connected from A to a number in B, right? So those two numbers are fixed. So you can't touch those two numbers again for the new connections. So that means there must be only one incoming edge for every number that you are connecting, and there must be one outgoing edge, right? So if you look in the example, right, 1 and 1, they are connected. That if there was another one in array A or B, we wouldn't be able to connect to this ones to that one, right? So in the similarly 4 and 4 are connected. Even though 2 and 2 are same, they are same numbers, but we won't be able to connect because it would cross the line which is connecting 4 and 4, right? So if we connect 2 and 2, it would cross the connections between 4 and 4. So if we don't have 4 and 4 connected, we could have connected 2 and 2 also. So that is also a correct answer. But in any case, if you connect 4 and 4 or 2 and 2, it doesn't matter. So you will be able to draw only two uncrossed lines, right? So 1 and 1, there is no issue at all. We are connected, that's good. But 4 and 4, if you connect, you won't be able to connect 2 and 2. If you connect 2 and 2, you won't be able to connect 4 and 4. So the maximum number of lines that we could draw for these two arrays is 2. So that's what we have to come up with the answer, right? So the requirements are, the lengths of the arrays may not be same, and we will have to connect only the matching numbers. And even when you are connecting the matching numbers, there wouldn't be any crossing lines. That is a third. And fourth is, if we have a connection, right? If you have a connection, there can be at most one incoming and at most one outgoing connections at every number. That's it. So those are the 4 conditions that we need to keep in mind while solving the problem. So what we are going to do here is, we will take few examples and try to develop an algorithm out of that, okay? So how we are able to connect, and then develop an algorithm from that, right? So at the end, we are going to solve this problem with dynamic programming paradigm. Okay, so if we are able to solve the smaller problems and try to connect with bigger problems, so that is what the dynamic programming, right? So you'll have to see if there are identical sub problems. If there are identical sub problems, right, if we solve them and then we use the sub problems which are solved to solve the bigger problem. So that is what the approach that we are going to go towards. So if the arrays are there, right, so what is the possible number of minimum number of elements in the arrays? Obviously 0. So but if there are 0 elements in both arrays, right, obviously we cannot connect. So what we would be saying is at least one element in each array, right? So we will start with one element, right? So A has one element, B has one element, and the element is 1 and 1, right? So I would like to show you visualize by showing, okay, I am going to write the elements in array A onto the left hand side in the column fashion and the elements in the array B in the row fashion. Okay, so that means this one is corresponding to A and this one corresponding to B. So now we use these rules. What rules? Length may not be same, we don't have to worry, but we'll have to connect only one matching number. So matching numbers only we need to connect, and there shouldn't have more than one connections. That is one more thing. And there is one more thing, let me write this down here. No crossing lines also, right? So no crossing lines, right? Okay, so now there is one and there is one. So since there are only one elements in both arrays, right, as long as they match, we just connect, right? So that's why I put, okay, there is one connection possible, right? So let's go to the next example where they don't match, right? 1 and 2. So as we talked, so the column basically onto the left side, we will put the elements from array A. On the top, we will put the elements from array B. So whenever there is a match, so imagine this is like a two-dimensional matrix that we are trying to build up. Okay, so imagine like that. So onto the rows we will have array A representation, onto the columns we have array B represented, right? So like that. So when we go to the bigger examples, it will make a lot more clear, right? So whenever the corresponding elements doesn't match, we will say 0, right? So 1 and 2, since they are not matching, we will put 0. So that means between array A, B, 0 connections are possible. Let's go by incrementing one more element, right? So A has single element, but B has two elements this time. So A, as we said, we are writing on the left hand side, and B we write on top, right? 1, 3. So this is a important step towards our dynamic programming algorithm. Okay, so 1 and 1, there is a match, so that's why we put 1, right? So that means what we are saying is from array A0 to B0 we were able to draw one line, right? So now what we are saying is from array A0 till array B1. That means B0 is also included. It's not just until only B1, but it is until B1. Okay, so this is B0, right? This is B1. So when it is 1 and 1, 3, if there is a match, we would have put 1 here, but even there is a no match, we are putting 1. Why, right? So that's the question we need to come up to answer. So why are we putting 1, right? When there is 1 and 1 match, we are putting 1, right? But when there is no match, also we are putting 1. What does it mean? That means with a single element in array A, and even if you take both elements in array B, we would be able to come up with only one uncrossed line. So that is what you have to keep that in mind. So this doesn't mean that you are connecting 1 and 3. Okay, what this means is by taking one element in array A and by taking two elements in array B, we are able to come up with only one uncrossed line. Got it? So that's what the explanation is. So let me write it down. So what we are saying is, with one element in A and two elements in B, we are able to get only one uncrossed line, right? Uncrossed line, right? So that's why what we are saying is, let's say this array is a DP array, right? Dynamic programming array. So DP of 0 and 1, right? DP of this is 0 0 and this is 0 1, right? DP of 0 1, we are setting it to 1, right? So that's the explanation for that, right? So let's go ahead and improve the algorithm by applying it to example 1. So this will make better understanding now. So this is array A, 1 4 2 is array A, 1 2 4 is array B, right? So now I'm putting the array A onto the left side and array B on top, right? So now let's exactly work through that. So now, so 1 1, there is a match, that's why we put 1, right? And next 1 2, right? So that means what we are saying is, one element in array A and two elements in array B. So since 1 1 match, we put 1, but since 1 2 it doesn't match, but still we are going to put 1, right? So that's it. Next, moving on. So one element in array A and three elements in array B. So there is only one match that we know we will put. So even though for 2 and 4 it doesn't match, we are going to still put 1, right? So this is a important and tricky point. Why are we putting ones here? So we have to see if there is a match previously, right? If there is a match, then we will have to put accordingly. But let's say, let me just try to copy this whole thing and let me manipulate. This is another, will be a different example, right? So this will be a different example. 7 8 9, let's say, right? So 1 7, is there a match? No. What we are going to do? 0. 1 8, is there a match? No. 0. 1 9, is there a match? No. 0. So only when there is a match, we will put the subsequent things as ones. Let's say if this was 1, right? So 1 7 did not match. So 1 1, there is a match. So we will put 1. But 1 9, there is no match. But still, we are going to put 1. Why? Because with one element in array A, with all the three elements in array B, we are able to connect one element, right? 1 to 1, we are able to connect. That's why we are putting 1 at this, but not at this. Why? With one element in array A and with one element in array B, we are not able to connect. Got it? So basically that is the tricky point we need to understand. That's why I'm putting all ones here. So when we go to the next step, so 4 and 1, right? That means here, this is just opposite of it, right? So two elements in array A and with one element in array B. So now, right? Two elements, so that is 1 and 4 in array A and one element in array B. So how many connections are there? 1. So we put 1. Next, 3 elements in array A, right? 3 elements in array A and 1 element in array B. So we are going to put only 1, right? So now, so what does that mean is, we are trying to fill the DP array. We said this array will be a DP array, right? So DP array, we are saying we are filling the first row and first column. So that is what we are trying to fill. So now, so we have filled the first row and first column, right? So let's start filling starting from second row, second column, right? So this one, this one, this one, this one. There are 4 elements that are need to be filled now. So now, so 4 and 2, is there a match? Nope. So what does it mean is, there are 2 elements in array A and 2 elements in array B. How many elements we are able to connect? Just 1. So what we are going to see is, if there is no match, we are going to take the maximum of 3 elements. What are those 3 elements? Left element, top element and diagonally above element, right? So in other words, when you are at ij, right, when you are at ij, so what elements you are going to consider? I minus 1, j minus 1, that will be a diagonal. I, j minus 1, that will, sorry, I, this is I not j, this is I, j minus 1, that means same row but the left element, and I minus 1, j. So this is same column but the previous, the top element. So this one and this one, whatever is the maximum, that is what we are going to put. Whatever the maximum is, 1 is the maximum, just put 1, that's it. Now moving on, right? So when you come here, that means what you are saying, you are considering 2 elements in array A and 3 elements in array B. So how many you can make? But here 4 and 4 there is a match, right? 4 and 4 there is a match. If there is a match, what we are going to do? So when there is no match, we are considering the maximum of the 3 elements, I minus 1, j minus 1, I j minus 1, I minus 1 j, right? The contents, right? Basically the contents. But now when there is a match, what we should do? When there is a match, we need to look for the minimum element, minimum number, and then add a 1. So what is the minimum number of the same thing? 1, 1, 1 is 1. Plus 1 is 2. So when there is a match, when there is no match, we are looking for the maximum element. When there is a match, we are looking for the minimum, right? So that's how we are going to follow. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? If there is a match, why are we taking the, when there is a match, why are we taking the maximum element, minimum element, sorry. So that means only those elements could be connected so far, right? Only those elements could be connected so far, right? So let's go to the next. So 2, 2, right? So at this 2, 2, that means you are doing the connection between 3 elements of array A and 2 elements of array B. In that case, what we are going to get? Obviously 2, 2, there is a match. So what we are going to get? 3, right here. 1, 1, 1. All ones are 3. What is the minimum from 1, 1, 1? It is 1 plus 1. Put 2, right? 2. So now 2 and 4. So we are considering all the elements in here and all the elements in here, right? So all the elements in A and all the elements in B, but there is no match, right? 2 and 4, there is no match. So if there is no match, what we said is, what is the maximum so far, right? In these, what is the maximum? 1, 2, 2. What is the maximum? 2. So from this DP array, what is the maximum element? What is the maximum count that you have got? Is 2. So the answer is 2. As simple as that, right? So what we are essentially doing is, we are trying to build a solution starting from previous connections, right? So we are trying to build a solution from previous connections, right? So just like we have filled the first row and first column and tried to fill the rest of it. So just by following that, right? So this will be anyway our toy example that we took just to understand what we are doing, right? So let me knock this off. Okay. So now we said we are going to solve it by the dynamic programming approach, right? So whatever we discussed so far, we have started with a single element and then moved on to single element versus 2 elements. And then we moved on to the first example 1, and we are able to solve in that particular fashion. So now let's go and look at the code and try to understand better, right? So it will follow exactly the idea that we followed when we filled this DP array, right? So DP array. So what we are going to do is, we are going to get the lengths of A and B first, right? So length of A I'm calling M, length of B I'm calling N, because lengths are not same. Just by looking at few examples given here, right, you can easily say lengths are not same. That's why they are M and N. So I'm declaring a DP array which I'm declaring for M by N, and that is, the array is getting initialized as zeros first, right? So that's what I'm doing. So the first thing what I did when we went through this example, when we were working out, is filling the first row and first column. Same thing I'm going to do here. So initialize a bool found match is equal to false. So go through first, what is this? First column, right? Go through the first column. So when we are going through the first column, we are comparing all the elements in array A with the first element in the array B, right? So that's what we are doing. So if there is an element match, from then onwards you are going to put 1 and you initialize the count to 1 because we are able to put the 1 connection, right? So you initialize the count to 1 and then initialize the found match is equal to true. Once a match is found, all the rest of the elements you initialize it with 1, just like how we initialized, right? In our tab example also we were able to initialize in the same way, right? So this is working out for the first column. So this is column, first column. Let me write the comment, first column, and the next for loop is first row, right? So this is the first row. And similarly, so in the similarly what we are doing for the first row, we are trying to compare the first element with all the elements of B, right? And coming up with the same thing. So these are essentially same things, but doing first row and first column differently. Now, so since we are done with first row and first column, we will start with 1 1. That means second row, second column, right? So our index is 1 1. We will start right there, right? Let me move this pointer a little bit. Yes, right? So what we are doing is we will have these two for loops to go through the DP array, right? If there is a match, that means the elements in both arrays at that particular index I and j match. That means we are going to get 1 plus math minimum of dp I minus 1 j minus 1 I j minus 1 I minus 1 j. So remember, these are the three elements that we said: the left element of the current element, the top element of the current element, and the diagonally above element, right? So those are the three elements that we are getting. What are we getting? The minimum of all of them and adding 1 to it. So that is what is when there is a match. But if there is no match, you get the maximum of all those elements and put into the DP array. So while we do it, so previously what we said is, okay, we filled the matrix and then identified 2 is the maximum element from this DP array, right? So now instead of doing one more loop, what we are doing is we are trying to see the count, get the max count from DPI and count. So basically get the maximum element while you fill the DP array, right? So you fill the DP array and got the maximum count, and at the end you return the count once all this for two for loops executes through m by n matrix. So just like what we did in this particular case example, right? We filled the entire thing and came up with 2 as the answer. So this would satisfy our requirement of uncrossed lines because we are considering and building through the sub problems, right? Right. So let's go ahead and try to understand the time and space complexity for this, right? So time, what is the time and what is the space it's going to take? So time complexity. So we were saying array length A is m, array length B is n, right? So let's keep in the same way. Length of the array is A is m, length of the array B is n. So time complexity. So for this, to initialize the array, the DP array, we are taking m into n. So time complexity for that will be order of m into n, right? Plus, to fill the first row, how much is the time complexity? Order of m, right? Order of m. To fill the first column, it's order of n, right? Order of m plus n, right? It will be order of m plus n. Plus, this is 1 to m and 1 to n, this two for loops, right? That means m minus 1 into n minus 1, right? So this will be m minus 1 into m minus 1, right? Let me get this here, right? m minus 1 into n minus 1, right? But if you add all of them, right, it will be 2 into m into n, right? So when we deal with the big O notations, we will remove the constants. We will say order of m into n. The time complexity will be order of m into n. So overall time complexity is order of m into n. So let's look at that space complexity. Are we using any extra space here? First of all, yes. So there are few variables that we are using, m, n and count, right? But these are just the variables, like integer variables. They are not much when you compare with the length of the a and b, right? The length of the inputs. So irrespective of the length of the a and b, you need m, n and count. But dp is where we are using the real space. So what is the space that we are using for dp? M by n, right? So the space complexity is also order of m into n. So the time complexity is order of m into n, and space complexity is also m into n, right? So if you have any further questions on this dynamic programming solution, right, please post them in the section below this video in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I have uploaded the code for this particular problem in 2 languages to the GitHub repository, C# and Java. You will be able to get the links from the description section of this video, below this video. If you have any questions, please post them as well. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe and share among your friends as much as you can. I will be back with another problem very soon. Till then, goodbye.